Recording in progress.
Dicen que en épocas de grandes cambios es cuando aparecen las mejores oportunidades. Este es el momento de aprovechar el presente para construir el futuro que deseamos. Hoy abrimos una puerta al futuro en el que las más avanzadas tecnologías se ponen a disposición del ser humano para construir un mundo mejor. Descubre Decentra, la oportunidad que eleva tu potencial con la ayuda de las mejores herramientas digitales del mercado actual, como blockchain, staking, web 3.0, NFTs, DeFi y más, mientras te ayuda a mejorar tus finanzas personales. Usando la tecnología más avanzada hoy y creando la que está por llegar. Bienvenido al futuro. Bienvenido a Decentra. El mundo del futuro se está construyendo en estos momentos. Un universo sin límites llamado metaverso está naciendo. La siguiente generación en la evolución de Internet. Un lugar donde las barreras de tiempo y espacio no existen. Un mundo donde la imaginación, fusionada con el desarrollo tecnológico, construirán los negocios del futuro. Y en este mundo, los cimientos de una gran ciudad comienzan a ser colocados. Decentra y Landian, la alianza que cambiará el mundo, están construyendo Decentra City dentro del metaverso. Esta ciudad será un lugar para explorar, para crecer, para conectar, donde podrás hacer tantas cosas como desees. Y habrá un lugar para el emprendimiento, para la formación, el arte, el entretenimiento y las relaciones humanas. En Decentra City podrás comprar o alquilar coches, invertir en activos, comprar la casa de tus sueños o construir un gran edificio. Pero también podrás disfrutar de multitud de experiencias asombrosas. O jugar. Tendrás una versión digital de ti mismo, viviendo e interactuando con otros ciudadanos de Decentra City, con un avatar personalizado. El metaverso hiperrealista más avanzado del mundo. Este es un momento único en la historia. La primera compañía de network marketing que arranca oficialmente dentro del metaverso. Decentra City, la ciudad donde no existe lo imposible.
We never imagined seeing the universe so close. A few years ago, it seemed impossible. But everything we once dreamed of is now a reality. Humanity and technology come together to create a new world. It is made possible by our determination, the force that makes us better, the force that turns vision into mission. We live in a connected world where information travels at the speed of light and gives us the ability to design our own reality. The imaginary and the real are closer than ever before. Virtual reality and artificial intelligence already move the world. Today, the digital world is where we live. Virtual cities are opening their way, spanning the globe in an instant. Everything is at our fingertips. What we thought was the future is now our present. Now is the time to prepare for the technology of tomorrow. The impossible doesn't exist. Welcome to the future.
Hola, hola muchachos.
Hello, guys. Good morning. I hope that you are just doing just great. I introduce myself. My name is Gerson Osorio. I'm from the city of Bogota, Colombia. I'm so happy and glad to be in this space. Thanks for the invitation to the corporate. Thanks for all the teams to be trusting in all the information that we're going to be providing to the community. But I do want to tell you that in this moment, what you need to do is to make your team to connect, to log them in, send them those messages by the intern DMs or WhatsApp. But to start, I want you to know where you're logging in today. And I want to know, where are you from? The morning or the night even, because some people are logging in from Europe. It's about 7 p.m. in Europe, so let's see. Barranquilla, Colombia, great. Chicago, Illinois, from Peru, Mexico City, New York, Irapuato. I think that this place is from Mexico, right? I don't know about this. Merida, Mexico, Illinois. We have several people from Illinois. From Medellin, a beautiful city, Barranquilla. Australia, 1 a.m. in Australia, wow. What level has to be worth it, right? From Chia, Colombia, Costa Rica, Chile, Ecuador, Jalisco, Zapopan, Dallas, Guadalajara. I found the one that I wanted to find, the one from Nigeria, also from the part of Africa that are listening to us, because they are just amazingly growing over there. South Africa. So we are in another level. So this is just growing so exponentially. And the company are opening countries that we didn't even knew about them. So we are so happy, so glad of this. Just to start, I want us to understand the context that we're going to be talking about, and we are going to understand that everything at network marketing, or in any job, any traditional business, or any entrepreneurship, or anything that you want to develop, everything is based on developing skills. So thanks to that I understood of these skills, what we need to understand is only polish certain skills within network marketing. It's not that we are going to the moon or that we're making the secret formula of the NASA. No, we have some skills that are more simple and that any person like you and I, we can learn it. And I didn't know about this until I started in this industry. And what happened is to guide myself from the people that were my mentors and they were the example for myself. And at that moment, I wanted to only have a result that was simple, and that was to get out from my traditional job at that moment. But for this, you have to learn certain skills, and then you can get out and you can defend yourself along the years only with certain skills. So from these skills, a person told me the most important one of all of this is to learn how to do those prospections and invitations, and is how to grow your contact list. Is how to learn that the prime matter from your business never runs out. So I need you to understand what I'm talking about. Maybe you're brand new at this business or in this industry, and that you need to log in every single day to the 10 a.m. or 8 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., depending on where you are. But I want you to understand that if you potentialize the skills that I'm going to show you right now, your business is never going to be suffering, or at least you are not going to be suffering, because that depends on other people do what they are supposed to be doing. But you are not going to be suffering if your business never runs out of clients. So this is extremely important. So I'm going to share my screen to start and launch. I was waiting for the people to arrive, but we're still lacking some people that can log in right now. So let's get going. So thank you. Can you tell me if you can see my screen correctly, please? So everything that we're doing today, it's important to achieve, to capture the main idea. I think that you have your pen and paper to where to write down your book, your notebook, your computer even, or your cell phone, just to write down. And I want you to take away all those distractions that we might have. And I understand that some distraction that we can have does not allow us to learn in a simpler way. Maybe the TV, radio, or other things. But let's focus half an hour, because this information is going to be so valuable for you and for your teams, especially so useful. So what are we going to see today? And this is so simple, and this is an effective prospection. And what is an effective prospection? I'm not talking about prospecting, because prospecting, they think that it's just taking their phone number. And it's like, hey, I know the guy from the grocery store in the corner, and I'm ready to prospect, because that is just making a contact list. Creating a contact list is different to know why that person needs of this opportunity or needs working with you to solve some problem. You always need to be taking account that prospection is not creating that contact list, it's making be part of that list, but knowing why and the reason why that person needs to be part of your team. So the main goal of this is learn how to make a proper prospection, creating a relationship, and learning how to solve people's needs. And listen to this, pay attention. Learn how to make a prospection, building a relationship, and learning how to resolve and solve people's needs. And there's a book that it was so useful to me, and it's how to make friends and influence some people. Because at a moment given, I felt stuck in that I was not moving forward, I was not striving, because my head was telling me that I know any other people. I already end up with all the people that I know. I don't know anyone else that wants to do this business. And my mind was like this repeatedly. and I felt like I didn't knew nobody. But this book, around 5 years ago, helped me to solve that problem of feeling that I didn't have any other contact that I can call, and that I couldn't make any other friends. So when you have time, I hope that you have the time to read it, to study it, and practice it in a really relaxed manner. But let's focusing in what is this? Why to create relationships? Why do we need to understand people before that they understand why they have to do something that we are doing? And I will write it and put it in a simpler way. Let's, for example, say that you get into a restaurant and you ask for pizza. So you get into that restaurant and you ask for the pizza. So if that person, I ask for a pizza and they bring me a hamburger, you eat the burger and you pleasantly eat it. Will you eat it pleasantly? Well, no, because what you wanted is to eat pizza. This is what happens over here. Normally, we do not listen and we do not understand the people in front of us. It can be the person in the bank or the driver, the Uber driver, can be their neighbor, can be the one from the supermarket. It can be any people, any person that you talk to. You need to learn how to listen to them. And you need to learn how to listen, because if you delicately, very softly, you start doing some questions, we're going to see certain questions. You are going to be able to understand what does this person has to do this business, or why does that person needs to work with you to short term or mid term. All right. But what is important about this, and what is the thing that I took from this book, is always to be empathetic with something, and always having that empathy, and also give compliments and to feel and to make the people relate in something common. So for example, you get in or you sit down, and let's say that you sat down at your Uber and the Uber is using a really beautiful watch and you like it. So just say, hey, that watch is just awesome. It has to be really appreciated by you. Hey, I have one myself, and I have one that I like it a lot. I use it a lot, and that's why I love it. And to see people that are also using beautiful watches. So feel empathetic with, feel empathy with that person, and quickly, just something easy, because that person is already opening their mind. And I'm talking in a way, in a manner that we're talking in a cold calling with people that you don't know. So with the people that you already know, it's so much easier. But with the people that you don't know, they're also going to happen the same thing, because the people will be open-minded with you because they feel confident. Because if they don't feel confident, they will never open their mind, their heart to you. So you need to find that empathy and to find a common ground. Perhaps their sneakers, the belt, their jacket, their clothes, how they're dressed, whatever. So many things that they have, the car. Every time I get into the car, that is nice, a nice car that is clean. I always tell them, hey, it's so amazing. Your car smells good. Yeah, you have it so clean. Hey, they will answer like, hey, this is not mine. This is the one that it provides my job, and well, I have to take care of it. But the first feeling that a person needs to have is to let them feel empathy with what you are doing. So this is what I love the most from this book, because there are so many stages and so many phases in this book, but this was the one that helped me to have that anchor point, and is to build that complement and to feel empathy with them. So let's understand a second stage of this, and that's the objective. So outside from all the things that are pending and all the things that we are doing, and the goal basically is that all the world and everyone, also from hot calling and the hot market, and those are the people that we know, that we have been living together with them since childhood, the people that we work together every day, and the people that we work with them alongside hand to hand. That's the hot market. There's an intermediate market that is the warm market from the people from your school or people that you haven't seen for a while. That's the warm market, the people that you know, but you don't know that deep. And also we have the cold market, and it's the people that you don't know, but only with the hot market and the warm market, you're gonna have something that it calls momentum. So if you can understand how prospection is made, this is extremely important about this. Because every time that you are prospecting, this is not if you want it or not, because it's already proven that it works. Normally, people said, I do it differently. Well, that's good. Technique is something, but always you need to have that attitude, belief, and passion over your business. Always need to have this. You cannot do something if you don't have these three things. Either it's not going to work, because you can have all the technique, you can have all the theory, and you can be practicing every day. But if you don't have that right attitude and that belief and also passion for your business, well, you're disconnected from the source. And that's what I want you today to understand. So let's get in to a phase of ask a lot of questions. So we're gonna get into this phase of asking so many questions, and those questions has to be so clear, has to be clear questions and key questions. Now, always be doing positive questions. Never talk about negative things. So you can prospect someone. Never, never, ever. Always do positive things and let them to drop the negative. That's why I recommend that book, because it's so short, but it's so powerful. And they're going to be taught how those average, how to shake their hands, how to sit down, how to look at them, how to make the questions, how to answer their questions. And in their questions, in the answers that they give, you will do those questions and always try doing positive questions with what? With attitude, belief, and passion over your business. So let's do some simple examples. So in positive questions that you need to be doing and always have clear and have it in your mind, just write this down. Please write this down. And if you can write it down now, because they are not in the slides. So, hey, what are you working on? There is a question from any kind of market, hot, warm, cold, is, hey, what you're doing? Hey, like, I'm working as an engineer in a civil work. All right, nice. Hey, I've been told that that profession and that job is really well paid, and they have a lot of time to enjoy. You already give them the good thing. If that is the way, that is a question that is so concrete. You're always gonna throw back the positive side. Well, yeah, you can earn a little bit. You can earn good money, but the time is not. And then you can understand that they can make good money, but they don't have much time. And then you can make a question how to prospect them. Hey, you said that you don't have much time. Do you have family? Hey, yes, I have a why I have two kids. I almost don't see them, but they're doing just good in what they are doing. Some of them are studying, others are not. And just let them speak, because that's the second question, right? So the third question is like, wow, I see that you are a successful person, and I see that you are doing something. What can you be doing? That you are doing something to get more time with your family. Normally people said like, hey, no, I'm not doing nothing right now, but I can be searching in the search for something that help me to have more time. And immediately you have the solution to your problem. You know what's going to happen. You know that immediately you're going to tell them, all right, well, let me see if I have something for you that can help you. Give me your contact. And if it's a cold market, if it's a hot market person that you already know, it's so important that in that moment, don't throw the pan at them. Like a person that I know, like Gorka said, normally one heard this and they goes to the throat and they just want to take blow it out, and it's not like that. Normally, you have to wait to the person understand what is happening, why it's happening, and especially that person is already working 5-10 years, and that person has good money, but they don't have time. So if there is a possibility that you can be earning a little bit more if necessary, or the same, but you have more time available, will you listen to me? Yeah, of course. If that person is already seeking that solution into having more time available for them. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, and you can set yourself in that stage, in that mirror, and it's to be able to understand that the people will only have once to listen a solution for the problem they have. They do not care how many problems you have. Engrave this in your mind, because if you have problems, they are not going to care. But if you can solve their problems, that's when they're going to care. That's where they're going to listen, and that's where they're going to join. Don't take anything personal, and listen and understand that every single time that you are solving those necessities, we're talking about time normally, because the most of people will get into these kind of questions. All right? Most of the people will get into these topics. I don't have money, I don't have time, I'm tired of the thing that I'm doing, I want to meet new people, I'm in search for business. And this is selling to the part of the subconscious of that reaction of that survival. And every single time, 100% is going to happen like you and I have been done. So if you get into a store and you get there and say, hey, I'm just going to be watching what they're having, you get out with five bags of the things that you purchased, and you say, hey, that salesman is good, but what they did is to sell to that unconscious, that subconscious, and that person only are selling to that part that are solving and giving a solution. And that's the part that we need to know, that we need to sell to that subconscious. And like I always said, always ask the same thing and become machines in making these questions naturally. I was practicing directly with my wife in a time given without having results. And I was just going to the streets and say, hey, my dear, if you work with me and you have more time for yourself and for your kids, will you be working with me, or you'll be lunching with me? Yeah, obviously. People always said yes. And it's to be able to understand what are the right questions for that prospect. And what that person said, hey, I don't know, I have to think about it. And then I develop like a naturality and easiness to making these questions. So normally I will ask, hey, you have $200 or $300 at hand to make a business that is super juicy and that can give us a lot of profit. Well, no, I don't have that at hand. And I said, all right, so why are you dedicating? Are you doing the same thing? Well, I'm making a good money, but I don't have money to spare or to save. Well, but at least you have time. Well, yeah, time I do have, but I'm not making good money. So I understand that in the time I don't have to ask about their time, but I have to ask about money. All right? So if I had the solution and telling you how to make a little bit more money and you have the same spare time, will you listen to me and be willing to work with me? Yeah, sure. I will be ready to listen. So you already have that prospect, and you can already understand that that person needs this business over money, because not everyone needs the same thing. Because these are always questions. There are always questions about these topics. And listen to this. These are always questions. You want a lunch? Yes, you want a lunch. With how much you want to learn? Start. You only ask. Okay, let's do it. We do it in this moment. You have it in cash. You have it in your bank account. We make a transfer. And these are always questions, like closure, like prospection, like in all skills. You need to be so good developing these questions. And how did I achieve to understand what questions I had to develop that were more consistent? And I've been reading these book that is sell to the mind and not to the people. And these are books that they are going to be useful to the history that you're going to be telling to other people in your whole life. But this book taught me how to understand that people are only motivated by pleasure or pain in doing something or by doing something. And they'll always be motivated and inspired by pain or pleasure. So if you're connected in here, you have either one of those. Either you have pleasure because you like it to learn and you like to do something different, or you're aching something and saying, I don't have money, I don't have time, I'm sick, I hate my boss, whatever you like. It doesn't matter because I want to solve it, and that's why I'm training myself because I want to solve that part in my life. In this book, I understood 100% this, that people needs solve and solving that part of their unconscious that they are seeing a better advantage on taking actions. And this, I love it. And it says, I'm tired of the things that I'm doing. I'm extremely tired of the things that I'm doing. It's like I have 10 years doing this business, but I'm actually already bored of doing the same thing all the time. And this, I just love it because we're providing all the possibilities and all the opportunities. Hey, you want to do something different? What do you want to do? What is your dream job? Well, I would like not to have bosses. And one other thing you want to have in your dream job, have a bigger income. All right. What else you like to do? I would like to have more free time, more spare time for me and for my family. I don't have, and you can make that within network marketing. Yes, totally, you can do this.
Así que tienes que...
And I said this by experience, and you need to understand that all questions that you do are placed to solve a problem or an issue from that person. All questions that you do, absolutely all of those questions have to solve a problem for that person. And here I'm talking about the prospection, is presentation, is closure, is launch, and when they need to start working. If you do that, you do that prospection right, you give that follow-up, and you will accelerate those closings, and then you will accelerate that numbers of the application. So when we start, how you do to people sign and start working? Well, that's easy because I already know why they have to work. Normally, when you sign them, it's because that emotional sign of money, you're going to be duplicating and you're going to be making income, and then you're going to be earning a lot more. But normally, people has to have the reason why to work, why to do network marketing is because a decision made, not through motivation 100%. So, wow, if we're going to be solving that issue from the money, I want to be dedicating so much time. No, I don't have time. Like, I don't want to do that. All right. But you're telling me that you want to solve that topic on your money, right? Yeah. I want to solve it. All right. So if you dedicate 1, 2, 3 hours a week, are you going to solve a little bit in that topic of the money income? But if you want to solve it faster, you need to be spending more time. So are you sure you want to solve it? And then you start developing with that person. When that person see that it works, they're going to do it more naturally. But the people are always going to be taking action is because solving something or an issue or a necessity they have in their own life. That I want you to understand, because prospection is this, is to understand why a person needs of our business, because a person needs our help of our company that is evolving so rapidly into giant steps, and they're making and taking so many services and so many advantages, like Sky for them to travel. All of this has to be extremely important for you to give a lifestyle to the people. People will just not move just for money. And now more than ever, I have seen this. After pandemics, people change their whole priorities. And just you tell me, in this moment, what would you rather, $1,000 or to be at Dubai on the beach? Normally you will say, hey, I want to be at Dubai, know another culture, be in another city, but $1,000, no. $1,000, I can make it by working. And that's why you need to understand that priorities change alongside the people are changing. And you need to be able to do that person take actions on this. I want to meet new people. A few people said about this. I have a lot of people that says that they are so good in their environment, they love their job, they love what they're doing, but they want to improve their friends circle. So if I show you how to work within a community of entrepreneurs, will you listen to me? Because perhaps there's a lot of people that you can be pleasant to hear and to work with them, and that you can teach them and you can learn from them. Will you like to get together to talk about this? So if I want to meet people like this, then I want to listen to it. I never said about money, I never said time, I never said family, because that person only wanted to listen, that he wanted to meet new people. And the one is the most basic. So I'm searching for business. So don't put so much stuff on it. So you want to talk about business, let's talk about business. I have several ways to be generating income, some passive, some active, and I want you to get together today with you in the afternoon to talk about this. And this is just extremely powerful. And it just goes straight to the point. Don't be just going around and around and around, because people are already saying, well, why are you going to tell me if you're not telling me anything? So just don't go around. Don't be messing around. Just be concrete with your questions to identify what's the necessity of that person. And then immediately you're going to solve that issue. So, hey, I'm not sure, but I might have the solution to that problem. Maybe you can be generating a little bit more money or the same time, but I want us to get together and evaluate a business proposal, and you can tell me if you want to work with me. And prospection is just to create that relationship. Hey, you know what? No, I don't like it. Well, we'll see later, and we just talk and get together and drink a cup of coffee. But not because they're saying no, it means that that person stops being a prospect. Always, when I start in this industry, either of that person signs or dies, because I will wait until they're 70s or 80s or 90s, and that person is deep in the grave. But along that person does not die, that person keeps being a prospect. And all the people know that this is just like this. Other people can be dedicated to something. It can be successful with money, it can be successful with time, it can be successful with their family. But you need to understand that things change and the necessity change drastically. And the only thing that matters and the only thing that is certain is change. In business, in relationships, in those changes, you have to be pending and you have to be paying attention as a consequence that you are doing questions, because you doing those questions that are so clear, you are going to be able to understand that those people needs of your help if you are doing it in a professional way. Because other thing is just to sign them and just leave them hoping the money, the value, and all the things. I also need you to compromise with that person and to commit with that person. Because prospection is not only having a person in a contact list. Prospection is to know why does that person has to do their business alongside with you, and how can I help them to solve their necessities within their environment of this industry and this business. So if I can help them solve a necessity that's outside the business, and that person, well, I help them, and just to help, I help, because if that person I help them and that person doesn't sign, well, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna help them anymore. No, you have to take that ego away and also be empathetic with the people, and always have that common ground, and always be searching how to connect the business of that person or what they're doing or the necessity of that person to something that we have over to us. Always connect that. The help of the third is so powerful, but knowing how to do the proper questions, we can anchor them. For example, normally in this business, people said they don't have money. Hey, I will introduce you a person that it was the same or even worse that they didn't have money. I don't know how they did it, and I would like him to tell you that story and that experience. But after this amount of months, he's having these results. Hey, do you want to know how the person solved it? So let's get together to talk tomorrow morning, and he will be able to make this business without money. And that person understood that even if they don't have money, they can also do it. Hey, I don't have time. Hey, I have a lot of people, even one person that he was even worse from you. He was working from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. and he didn't have money during that half time. But now that person has a lot more time because he lowered their job schedule to be on this business. So everything is to be making those questions and those anchorings. That's leverage. Therefore, the prospection mode that you need to have is to be making questions and identifying the necessity. When you already have that necessity, then make that leverage to the business. Hey, get together with me because I might have the solution for that. And then you make all the questions. If I'm making myself understand, type a 5 in the chat if you are understanding what I'm trying to tell you. If you are present, if you are here and you're understanding this information. Well, there we have it. There we have it. Excellent. 555. A lot of fives. So you are extremely paying attention. And if you use this information, you might not be the best, but you're going to be much more effective. Trust me. You're going to be able to prospect 10 people, set them down in the presentation, and at the presentation, perhaps you're going to be signing 6 or 7 in a follow-up. They're going to remain a few. But it's going to be so important that you have that prospection that is clear in the moment when you're presenting. Because that is not to me, and maybe it's the job of another person. But when you prospect and you set that person to make that introduction, the first thing you need to do is to remind them why they're there, and to remind them the prospection that you did. Hey, you know what? Hey, Camilo, remember that you told me that you were extremely bored at your job and that you want to change that situation. Hey, yes, I remember. What you're going to listen is the solution to that. But I want you to pay attention to it so you don't miss the opportunity. I will give the presentation. And at the end, hey, have you seen that you have the opportunity to change that? We can change and take away that boredom that you have at your job. Yeah, well, yeah, I want to start. I want to join. So you need to have that leverage and have that anchor to that closure, to that follow-up. And when that person starts working, also you need to do this. So you actually want to change your job? Well, we need to start doing these, and these actions. If you don't do them, perhaps you're going to be doing the same thing. But I know that you want to change, right? So, yes, I want to change. Well, all right, then start doing it. That's why, and therefore, the prospection is the most important of all this process. That's why it's the main skill that we need to develop and polish. So if you have heard about the GoPro, prospection is the first, is the main thing, is the key to the business. Because if you do this correctly, you will have an uninterrupted travel. And just to wrap this up, is to make them understand that without prospection, you will not have partners. You always need to understand that not everyone wants the same thing. That's the second main point. Not always be selling the business because, hey, put $1,000 and duplicate it, put $3,000 and duplicate it. No, if you want to have a work team, you need to understand what does that person wants and needs to join into this business. I don't know if it has happened that you sign one person in a week because you never prospected them. You don't know why they are making this business. You don't know why they need to start working hand by hand with you. And even sometimes, and perhaps some of the people that are connected right here, without a doubt, some of my words, some of the people that are here, they don't know why are they doing this business. They don't know what's their anchor in this business because they have never been asked about this. And that's what there's key to understand why, and why your team and why your prospects has to do this, because not all of them wants to do this. Don't push money to their faces. Don't push time to their faces. Don't push travels to their faces, because people are not going to be interested in this. So you need to start doing the right questions and always ask yourself, if we don't have new partners, then how will I make my business grow? All right? All the things that you receive, all this information, it was so condensed, because I can be taking hours explaining, but this is so condensed, so simple to digest. I don't want to fill your head with so much information. I just gave you the foundations and the principles that are the books that I just told you, and those are going to explain in a simpler way, a more deeper way, how to do this. But I just gave you those conclusions of the things that I did, of the things that work and that is working for me. And take on account that all the people that are connected in here, the people that are giving you this information, is not telling you something that they haven't done for themselves. Or at least for myself, I will not train on something that I have never done before. I will not show you something that I have never done for myself. So at first hand, you always, because the best perspective is your own testimony, your attitude, and your passion. Always the best perspective is your own testimony, your attitude, and your passion to this. If you don't have this, it's going to be so difficult that a person wants to work with you. You're going to present to so many, and then you're going to see them sign in another line. Hey, what that person signed with other people, or the person, and why does that person sign and wants to work with other? Because you have to be the own testimony with your testimony, or your attitude and your passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to be here and spending this time, investing this time with you. I want to say goodbye. In fact, well, there's a lot of people that are saying goodbye now. Can you repeat those 3 books, please? How to make friends and how to influence some people. The answer are on questions, and sell to the mind and not to people. So blessings to you all. I hope to see you next time. See you next time. Blessings, big hugs to all the people around the world in whatever the time you are in. And till the next occasion, see you next time.